So what time do I have to get you out of here?
I am planned for 12:30. So like 12:10.
12:10?
Yeah.
Okay. Be a fun size podcast today then.
Yeah,
That's fine. We already had the long one.
it's
That
true.
was I don't know, I forget how long that was. That was like 2 hours or something. So what'd you end
It
up
was
doing this morning
pretty
with
long.
your boyfriend?
What?
with your with your friend this morning. You said you because you're doing like three things today, right?
Oh, yeah. I don't think I heard very well what you said, so that's why I was confused.
Oh.
Yeah, I went to
I was like, is
Neater's.
he not he's just not taking the gay joke. Okay. I was like,
No, I couldn't hear very well. But yeah, we just went to Neater's.
that's it?
Yeah, we just talked.
Neaters is exhausting, I guess.
Yeah,
I can see that actually with the amount of syrup and sugar involved in Neaters. That sounds terrible to me.
I
I
like
had
it.
it one time. Um, one of my friends at work brought it in. This was during COVID, so our dining room was closed down, and he was one of the managers, so he could just show up whenever he wanted. And I'm actually gonna turn this up a little bit. We are a little quiet. He just showed up, and the dining room was closed, so he just brought in like I forget, it was like $70 worth of Neaters food for the morning crew. We just ate that at a Wendy's dining room. It's pretty cool.
Mm.
But I was thinking about maybe changing the name of this podcast, unfortunately, to like delayed gratification or something. But I didn't think that would fit too well because obviously the whole point of this is to listen to it later. But
Yeah,
there's like, oh, dude, there's like 50 time capsule podcasts out there. There's
true.
so many of them, dude. It's ridiculous. I thought I had a cool idea. I guess not. Well, okay. So my idea is still cool, right?
Yeah,
But everyone else's is well, how is this? They'll review things now or something. I don't even know. I was just looking over thumbnails and they were I don't know, they were like reviewing Coca-Cola or something like that. Or it was kind of like I don't know, it was just really weird stuff. I think it was just stuff from now. That was the whole thing, just stuff like commerce and whatnot.
mhm,
But yeah, I'm glad we got to do this again because I didn't think I'd get you a second time to be honest. When you said, "Oh, I'm gonna leave in like I don't know, was it 3 weeks or something?"
yeah.
But or just be unavailable in 3 weeks. I think that's a better way to put it. But yeah, I really wanted to talk about high school because that's something we're gonna forget about. I've already forgotten about a lot of it. Um, because we already talked a lot about, you know, I think last time it was like a lot of like dance and stuff and
Hmm.
some other things. I totally that was the only thing I remember from the last time. But so my little brother's in band, right?
Yeah.
And it is just I would not want to be in band right now. I don't know if I would have lasted. And where he is, it's really bad. Um, recently, I don't remember. I think this was after we talked, but the people, so they don't have uniforms anymore. They have
Mm.
like the tank. Remember how Mesa was that one year with the weird tank top setup?
No.
No. Well, you were definitely there for that. Uh, or maybe not actually. You might have been gone. I don't know. Um, well, they had not real uniforms. They're going like kind of DCI-ish with like these weird tank top things.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's really bad, especially if you're an insecure high school student. You have
True.
to be wearing tank tops around, and they also got to wear their hair up. Like the guys have to braid. their hair or put it in ponytails now, which was what they had to
Hmm.
do before. But now it's like super, super strict about that, where
Yeah.
it's not just Grant the Tank long hair, man bun length hair, but what you had would probably have to go up
Hmm.
because they don't have Shakos anymore. They're doing it with tank tops, no Shakos, no uniforms, just just bad, dude. I can't imagine.
Shaco is the head thing, right?
Yeah, it's the helmet.
I forgot. I forgot what
That's
those are.
funny you
That was
forgot
called.
that too, because my brother was telling me about it. I was like, "Yeah, the Shakers." He's like, "What?" I was like, "You know the thing, the little helmets?" He's like, "Oh, you mean the Shakos?" I was like, "Dude." Like I've noticed my band vocabulary is gone in the last year. Because
Yeah.
2 years ago, I was fine, even though we didn't really have band because of COVID. I was still in it. Like I could still hang with people. But now he's telling me about stuff. It's like, dude, I don't know what that is.
Hmm.
I couldn't remember breakthrough. I was talking to Mason. He's the drum captain now or whatever. And I was telling him to just like enjoy himself because he was saying all the kids, they don't practice. I was like, that's not new. But I heard him and this sounds really, really bad. But it sounds terrible. But I was telling him about groups I tried out for and how like I wasn't having fun, so I just didn't do it, even though I probably should have done it. But it was better that I didn't do it because I wasn't having fun. I couldn't even remember like the names of groups, like Breakthrough, for example. I was like, I don't know what it's called. It's Break something. It's
Yeah.
like, dude, I literally auditioned for that, and I couldn't remember. It's crazy.
Yeah. I wouldn't be able to have remembered that stuff either.
How gone is that for you, the whole band scene? Because I'm
Oh,
remembering stuff
very.
now because I was not involved with my little brother in his band career last year because they were still kind of in COVID mode. And I was like, I don't need to deal with this.
Yeah.
But this year, I'm kind of interested more because I have time because I switched my major, so I have just more time. I'm not doing biology 8 days a week, uh, but I'm just getting reminded of stuff that I totally forgot about. Crazy.
Hmm.
Like for
Dude, the other
example,
day,
what's up?
I just say the other day I went to a Mountain View game to watch my friend play, and I remembered like I said a top to see, and I hadn't thought about that for so long. And like I didn't even remember like any of the other ones, but that's like the only thing I remembered is that I couldn't even remember the rest of it, but just the top to see part.
I'll have to ask him if they still do that. That was that was so terrible. That's that reeks of pre-technology. Do you know what I mean by that?
No.
Like there's a certain taste, if that makes sense. Like, how do I say this? If you look at early 2000s video footage, just candid people, right? It has a different, I don't want to say vibe because that's being too general. There's a certain flavor. Do you understand that?
I think I know what you're saying, but I don't think I
Okay, so the
personally know what you're saying. Like I understand the idea of what you're saying, but I can't say that I've like noticed it.
there's certain things that people did before that would not fly today,
Yeah.
right? Because of the lack of technology. And I don't know why technology influenced it that way. Like, for example, my elementary school did annual Christmas sing alongs where you'd get the whole school in there
Yeah, we did
and
that
the
too.
music teacher, right? They'd play all the songs and everyone liked Feliz Navidad for some reason, even though it's not even a Christmas song. And now it's probably canceled. But I feel like that would not happen today. I feel like people wouldn't do it, or people wouldn't
Yeah.
be as jazzed. Like, okay, people would still do it because there's this there's this communistic good old boys mentality at elementary schools, right?
Yeah.
where but I don't think the kids would be that into it as we were back in the early 2000s.
Yeah, that's probably true.
And the whole food chance, people wouldn't do that today. If we didn't have that then, we wouldn't have created it. Because that stuff is old.
Yeah.
Like that's I want to say that's like 2009 era stuff. That
Yeah, I wonder when do you
Hamilton
think, like,
killed.
those, like, started?
That's what I'm saying. It's because Hillshire Farms is one of the things I think that meat brand, and that's been around for freaking decades. So I don't know. That's such an it's just such an old type of fun. I think is the best way of putting it.
Yeah,
People don't have fun that way anymore, which is
it's
really
true.
weird.
Yeah.
And the kids aren't allowed on their phones at games really still. And so you think it'd be easier for people to make that kind of or that kind of thing to organically be made, but it's just not. It's super odd.
It's true.
Like
Maybe it's just
so
'cause, like, since they can't be on their phones, rather than being present, they just focus on the fact that they can't be on their phones and there's nothing to do because that's all they know.
they're just wallowing the entire game. It's like, I can't check my TikTok. Oh no. I can't
Exactly.
see a beautiful person do nothing on camera for 10 seconds and then press like and comment hard eyes. Like, TikTok is so it's it's so bad. Oh
I
man,
agree. It's
I
stupid.
was I was stuck on Instagram Reels for I want to say 15 minutes this morning when I got up because I'll go on my phone just so I can't fall back asleep because your phone
Smart.
will just wake up your brain like that.
Yeah.
And I got stuck on Instagram Reels for a while and I almost ran out of time to go to the gym, like get a full session in. Like, I barely made it because I got stuck on Instagram Reels. I was so annoyed with myself. Like I'll get so mad when I'm on that. Like I've been on this for I don't know, an hour go by and I'll just throw my phone or something.
Yeah, I've
But
never really had social media for that
I
reason.
noticed that you had that absentee Instagram account for ages.
Yeah, that's so funny.
I checked it recently. I was like, I wonder if anything is on here. There's still nothing. This user has no posts.
I had one post.
You do?
Yeah,
What?
it was for my brother's birthday.
I'll have to check that. Maybe am I following? Do you have another one?
No,
I
I
I
have,
gotta
like,
check this
the
out.
Fizzle fam of me and him dancing, but
Yeah, I
that's
know
not
about that
really,
one.
like, yeah. That's my only one. I got it when I was 14, my 14th birthday. Then my brother's birthday was 5 days later, and so I made a post for him, and then
Oh,
I
okay. I've
deleted it after that.
requested. You're private. I've requested, but you you haven't okayed me.
I know there's so many people that, like, have requested to follow me. Like, I sometimes it's actually funny, but sometimes, um, I'll, like, take my mom's phone and, like, log into my account or, like, my brother's phone and just, like, look at who's, like, requested to follow me and then just not do anything about it.
Yeah, how's that been not being on social media? Because you didn't.
Um,
I know you were kind of primitive with your phone, but I always assumed that was kind of a choice to some extent, or it was forced upon you. I know that didn't make any sense because those are two opposites, but
it was it was mostly a choice, like, I got it when I was 14, right? And then after, like, a month, I was like, "It's kinda stupid." And so I'd, like, deleted it, and then I just, like, never looked back. Well, I have looked back. I've considered getting it, but then I ultimately just decide, like, "No, not right now."
just Instagram though.
Um, any social media. I don't have anything.
Well, I mean that you've considered actually getting.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
Instagram is the only good one in my opinion. It's the only one worth having. You don't need
'Cause
anything else.
it's true, and it has everything. It has Facebook and TikTok and Snapchat all within it.
Obviously, TikTok is a better platform overall, but it's worse for you because it's better. You know,
Yeah.
um, I was watching this podcast with Mark Zuckerberg, and they were talking about how Twitter is so brutal and mean and stuff, right? You'll see all these
Mhm.
tweets, and Instagram's this like nice place. And Zuckerberg was saying literally that that's the idea of Instagram. It's a nice place. He was saying it's not, it doesn't feel real, and that's the point because life sucks. And Instagram is this happy place where everyone's happy, everyone's beautiful, everything's perfect. And I thought that was really interesting. I was like, "Oh, so the point is to be fake, but for a good
Yeah, because
reason?" Like, what?
it's usually hated on for that same idea. That's like exactly what makes it so like
That's what makes it positive.
yeah,
Because Twitter is, if you get down to it, Twitter is people being extremely real because
it's true.
there's no consequence, right?
Yeah.
And so it's just people being people, and it's brutal. It's terrible. I think I had it for a game back when you used to have social medias to get certain things in games. I think I may have had it for something
Yeah,
like
true.
that. Some like Transformers app back in 2014 when Transformers 4 came out. What a terrible movie. Jeez. It's crazy that those movies even exist. Just the how bad they are. Have you ever seen
I
the
haven't seen
Transformers
any of
series?
them, but I know that people just crap all over them.
Oh, dude, it's
It's
brutal.
surprising how many they've made
Yeah.
throughout all of the hate.
It's I think the concept is just so strong, you know?
Yeah,
So many people love violence. There you go. So many people love cars. There you go. So many people love planes. There you go. You know, it's just little boy everything that a kid would like all in
yeah.
one concept. It's crazy. I used to be really into it. I knew like all the names of the Transformers dudes. I was on the Transformers wiki like every day just reading. Crazy. I
It's
can't
funny.
believe I put that much time into it. So bad. There was a point where I did that with YouTube actually, where I don't know if you remember this, like it was I think it was sophomore year. I was on YouTube so much that whenever someone would bring up a video to me, I had already watched it. I already knew exactly what they were talking about.
That's crazy.
It was nuts, dude. I remember at one point overheard video, right? You overhear a YouTube video, and I knew what it was, and it was Logan, the trumpet guy, who was playing it. I was like, "Hey, Logan, is that the Detroit blah 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 trombone feature?" He's like, "Yeah, how'd you know?" I was like, "Dude, that came out like 2 months ago." It was on
You knew when
my
it came
YouTube.
out too.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. My YouTube game was unmatched. It was
It's
nuts.
intense.
I think that shows how small the platform was back in 2018. Now I couldn't do that now. There's no way. There's so many freaking people in there to watch and whatnot. It's crazy that I have you on a second time when there's a
Mhm.
line of people, and it just worked out that way.
Yeah,
Because when you say you're gonna do something, you most of the time you show up to do it. And
it's true.
I've been trying to get this one guy on here. One of my friends, Daniel. He is. I'm pretty sure we got him for Monday, so that's pretty cool. But it was one of those things where I texted him and he texts back, and then I text him again, and then 2 days later he'd respond, and I text him, and then 2 days later he'd respond.
That's annoying.
It's yeah, it was when you're trying to schedule something in a timely manner, that's literally the worst. My brother stood me up on Monday. He was gonna come over the house and help me with my car, put some new lights in, and he just didn't show up straight up. I was like, okay, because my text stream is, hey, does Sunday work? No, but Monday does. All right, so Monday, yeah, sure. And then Monday comes. Hey, are we still on today? Are you coming over? Hello? Just he has not. He hasn't even responded to me. It's been almost 5 days, and he has yet to respond to me. After he just didn't show up, but whatever. It's fine. I didn't expect him to show up anyway, so I made plans just in case he didn't show up.
Smart.
Yeah. Um, Something I realized about the band when I went is how like the loss of freedom. happened, and
Hmm.
they're just enslaved now. I don't, do you remember freshman year of how ludicrously just I don't know. It was just anarchy, you know?
Yeah, it was Hamilton's first year, right?
Mhm.
And we had Jessie. Was that her name?
Jesse Vaughn. Yeah.
Yeah. And she could care less what we did.
That was that feels like a trip now, dude. That feels like an acid trip. That whole season. It's like none
I
of it
know.
was real.
Crazy.
None of that was real at all. And then yeah, like I had her social media like during the season, I think. I was texting her. Not in any way like that, but just like, "Hey, what do you think of this
Oh yeah.
performance, blah blah." Blah." And that would never go today. They'd be like, "You can't have anything. You can't even know they have a social media." Blah. Stuff like that.
Sure.
You remember Brianna?
Yeah.
Just
I remember that she would always go, "Ow," or "Hey ya," and he'd be like, "Brianna, how many syllables does ow have?" He'd be like, "One."
that was now that I think about it, she seemed really young. Does that do you know what I mean by that?
Yeah.
Like to us, she was old because we were freshmen, and that's just how it works. But she was
Uh,
a senior, and I remember how I was as a senior, and how a lot of girls I knew were as seniors. And Brianna was like sophomore, junior age. I felt like just the way she acted
that's true.
as like a section leader senior. It's crazy. I just thought of that. I was like, man, she was like, I don't know. I don't know where she is now. I still have her social. I could text her, but I texted the old baseline group chat the other day actually, and no one responded. Not even Tyler. I gotta have Tyler on here, dude. Dang.
Let's see if I remember this. Tyler was 1, Brianna was 2, Ethan Slater, is that his name?
Yep.
Was 3, you were 4, Nico was 5.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, I haven't thought about Ethan in like years. Oh, that's weird.
He was hitting on me a year or two ago over
Like
Snap.
I remember you mentioning that.
Yeah.
Remember?
It's
Do you remember
just
Brett?
dude, I did not that's what I'm saying. Like if you had asked me who like about people there, I would never have brought him up. But since you mentioned him now I remember him. I actually have his book, like his show. For some reason I have it.
He was like one of like the coolest people in band. Like I remember
He
freshman
shouldn't have
year, I
been
was
in
like,
band. I remember he was supposed to do football and then something happened and he couldn't do it.
oh dang,
That's probably why it was cool because he grew up playing football.
yeah. I was just as a freshman, I was like, Brett is so cool.
And then he quit.
I want to be his friend. And then yeah, he quit. And then I would see him like walking in the halls every now and then. The next year, I'd just be like, "What's up?" He'd be like, "What's up?" I was like, "So cool."
Yeah, he was I remember him being surprisingly nice. Does that
Yeah.
make sense? Like, I just didn't expect him to be nice because I was a freshman. He was a junior. I was like, ah, I don't expect any. It doesn't help that I had zero standards for him, but yeah,
He
I
just
was
like
just
seemed
surprised,
like a bully. Like he had the red hair and
dude.
everything.
He he was bully archetype, literally Sandlot kid, but not fat. Like,
Exactly.
I just didn't
Like
expect him to just be a down to earth guy. I
he
was
was super
so ready to
chill.
fight him.
Yeah.
Such a
He would
neat
like mess
guy.
around and stuff and like be fun and stuff. And like he seems like he'd be super like boring if you just like just met him.
Yeah, yeah.
Like he had no personality, but he was like actually really
Like
fun.
like an e-boy, but not pretty. I don't know. It was
Yeah.
just like they're like I just said like 4 times in a row. Holy shit.
It's embarrassing.
Yeah, he was I haven't really met anyone like him since, now that I think about it. Like, you were the most like him of anyone I know, which is kinda weird.
Fair enough.
Where it's like I don't expect, crew. You just give me the vibe that you're boring, and then I meet you and you're cool. But um, man, that's gonna sound really bad in post when I just roasted you and I got nothing from that from your end.
Yeah,
Jeez.
kind of embarrassing for you.
Yeah, I don't know why you had to do me like that. Speaking of redheads, Mr. Bray, I was thinking about him the other day because I was filling in his contact photo, and I realized that his class, me and you in his class, that is such a non-moment for me. That never happened.
Mr. Bray's class.
Yeah, that never happened. Did we
That's
already
such a
talk
weird
about
thought.
this?
No, I don't think so.
Because we were in there for a good 3 quarters, and
And then COVID, right?
yeah, I don't
That's
remember
crazy.
any of it.
I remember parts of it. I'm just plugging in my computer real quick. Um, yeah, I remember like glimpses of things that would happen. But it's
The
like
thing I
really weird.
remember most about it was eating because
True.
I would get so
Eat every
hungry.
day.
I would
Because it was third hour, so it was like,
Dude, the third hour before lunch was so brutal, man. It hurt
yeah.
to, like, exist because your stomach would just be eating itself. I don't know what the deal was. I ate breakfast most days. I remember I started eating breakfast. I didn't eat breakfast before, but because of that third hour stretch, I had to eat breakfast. Otherwise, it would just be over. I couldn't do it.
Yeah, I wouldn't eat like a lot of breakfast. I'm not really a breakfast person, but I'd try to like choke down like a little thing every morning on the way to school.
Oh,
I
yeah,
would
your
still be
granola
really hungry
bar.
by third hour.
Yeah, man, breakfast is so good if it's good, and it's so bad if it's hit or miss every time with breakfast. I never have
So
an
I'm
okay
saying
breakfast.
it's
It's
usually
either I don't
miss.
eat breakfast or it's.
I remember there
I
was that one kid. I honestly don't know if it was a guy. I didn't like the first 2 weeks. I was like, "What are you?" But I
That's
sat
such a
next
modern
to.
problem, dude.
I know. I sat next to him for like the first couple weeks, and you would always sit in the back. And then there was just a certain point I was like, "I'm just gonna sit with Ben and leave them on their own."
Oh, I yes, yes. I know who you're talking about now. It was a guy and he was gay. I remember that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know why you didn't sit next to me for the longest time. I don't think I was sitting next to anyone, right?
Yeah, I don't think you had anyone next to you. Actually, I think you did. They were gone one day, and so I went back there.
Oh, you just usurped.
And then the next day, I just got there
And
before
the
them.
next and the next day they didn't have a seat. Yeah. Who
And
was
they,
who was I sitting next to?
I don't remember.
I could be it could be $1,000,000 on the line. I couldn't give the answer.
It's so
Who
weird.
that's I because I know Lex Dobbins was sitting to our left. I remember that
Yeah,
because he was always screwing around. 'Cause he was a cool baseball player, man, and he didn't have to follow the rules. But
that's what it means. When you sign the baseball contract,
yeah,
it says that you don't have to
yeah, you
follow
don't pay
rules
attention
and
in
have general
class.
respect. So,
Yeah,
yeah,
you have to grow your hair out past your baseball cap too.
obviously.
Yeah, that's the only thing you're allowed to
Yeah.
have.
You can spit wherever you want. Pretty sure it says that too.
Jeez. You not like baseball players? You have a
I don't
bad
have anything
experience
against them.
with baseball? 'Cause that sounded pretty personal. You're like
I know it did.
you're like, "Oh, here my opportunity has arrived. I can finally just."
I just think that there's a stereotype with baseball players, but like all the baseball players I personally know are good people. Then I just like hear things about other baseball players that I don't know, and I'm like, such a baseball player.
Yeah, I remember Alex told me a joke one time that I laughed at politely. Um, and he was telling me about driving manual because he was okay. Here's the only reason it was funny, right? He was making a joke about people who drive manual, and how they have sticks up their own asses about driving manual and how they'll rub it in your face, right? He was trying to make
True.
a joke about that. He's like, dude, people who drive manual are like baseball players. It's like they'll tell you they play baseball. You never ask. I was like, okay, fair enough. But you drive manual, Alex. You just told me like you just told me you drive manual. So you are the butt of your own joke. And he didn't even realize it. It's like, dude, he I've had so many moments like that with that guy. Where it's like, dude, do you understand what you just said? Like or what you're doing right now? Like
Yeah.
that dude freaking jeez. What a person. I remember you hanging out with him a lot. Um early on and then after you kind of skirted out of band in general, that kind of ended. It was like, "Oh, you're my friend in this class."
Yeah. Happened with a lot of people.
Cuz you were in the okay, so here's the thing, right? Because you made honor band 7th grade, so you got to meet a lot of those people first before anyone else, right?
What?
So you were in honor band in 7th grade, right?
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
And so all those
Seventh grade.
people that most guys met in high school, you
Yeah,
already
the
knew.
eighth
You
graders
had like, yeah,
band
that legendary class of 2020 that got cucked out of graduation.
stuff.
Yeah. That's crazy, dude. I haven't thought about that in a long time. Fremont band. Jeez. I still remember that band room, like front to back.
Dude, me too.
I remember
With
certain
Mr.
mallets I would use.
Atchison
Mr. Atchison, yes.
and Mr. Miller, and then the other one,
And then Mr. Mitchell.
Mr. Mitchell.
Mr. Miller with cerebral palsy.
Yeah.
So he couldn't play the trumpet anymore, so he did slider trombone. Dude, he got made fun of so hard in just when he's just walking around, because all the teachers had to do like that mandatory security thing.
Mhm.
And all the kids would just laugh at him. It's just at a grown man with cerebral. That's so terrible.
Middle school
There's so
kids
many
are
things wrong with
cruel.
that. Dude, kids suck. They, I
Kids
can't.
suck.
I don't think I can accentuate to you how much I hate kids. Like they, and it's not their fault, but also at the same time it is because I sucked less as a kid. Okay, it's possible. You cannot
It is
be
possible.
that terrible. You were
Like when
probably
you
a pretty
reach,
good kid.
yeah, I don't know, sometimes. Like when you reach a certain age, you realize that like I should like actively try to not suck.
Yes.
And you
When
could
was
reach
that
that
for you?
age younger, and some people never reach that age. But like there comes a time when you have to like intentionally try not be a terrible person. Because that's it. Being a terrible person is natural.
For some people, it isn't though, and I hate those people the most.
It's true.
The people who are just nice to be nice, and you're like, "What is this angle they're trying to pull on
What
me?"
you playing at?
Yeah, what you playing at, Tiger? What are you trying to do to me? Um, Something I really wanted to ask you about was Big Man because we've never talked about Big Man in general, like to each
Talked about
other.
that last time.
We mentioned that you were in it.
Yeah,
That's all we mentioned.
it's true.
Like I still don't know anything that went down besides the fact that you won. But not the
So you
student vote.
just
So
want me to
you
like
weren't actually
explain
popular.
the process or what?
No, like so it's like the male beauty pageant thing, right?
Yeah.
I just want to know like what were your special skills and talents, you know?
Well,
Obviously you did something with dancing,
yeah.
probably.
I was with a lot of like popular dudes who like are like
Who I didn't think were that popular. because I don't know, the dudes that I remember seeing in the Instagram posts and stuff, I was like, I them? Really? I
Yeah.
don't know.
Well,
Like,
that's
Sam
true. Like
Williams was the only one in there who I was like, "Okay, I see that," you know?
I think like people who like were really really popular didn't need to do it, but they were
Mm.
like they felt too cool for it, you know?
Have
So
has it gone that far where popular people won't even do it anymore? It's
yeah,
become cringe.
but I think it was for the people who were popular, but also like not afraid to like embarrass themselves and like be
So the cool
ridiculous.
popular kids.
Yeah, or the uncool popular kids. The popular kids who were so uncool that they were cool. The relatable way.
Oh,
Then there was me. I
yeah, you were really, just
was a
you were a
wild
black
card.
yeah, you were a black sheep, man.
Yeah.
I
I
did
was
not
only in
expect to
because
see you
like
in there.
I asked Mr. Jones if I could be in it, and he was like, "Yeah."
I was like,
And I
"Okay."
think it was only because like I danced in with my brother when he did Big Man,
Oh, so
our
you
freshman
okay.
year. So
You
like
knew a
everyone knew
guy.
that I could dance, and
I
me and Jones
remember
had
you
just
did
always
that,
talked about it.
yes. I totally forgot that you did that with your brother,
Yeah,
and you were, like, the coolest person for, like, 12 hours.
I know. So I think that that's solely what got me in, because I wasn't
Mm.
like super popular or anything. Um, like I don't care. I don't want to sound like sad about it, but
Nobody liked me in high school. All these kids
exactly.
who only cared about looks didn't like me. Okay.
um, yeah, there was like three portions, I guess. So there was like a swimsuit portion. Um, and so my brother, when he did it, his talent portion, like he won that. Like he won the audience vote. I'm pretty sure.
Mm.
I think when they did it, then they like the audience vote, and then they had like the judges, and they like combined the scores or something. I don't know, something like that. But he
Okay.
had like the audience vote, and he had the talent portion really good, but like his swimsuit portion was really boring. So I was like, I need to do something original.
He's like,
So
"I
I
can't
got
just go out there in my underwear."
exactly, and I didn't want to do that either because like it's disgusting. But um,
But you're a guy. It's not like you're a girl. Anyway,
sure.
you ever think about how, like, weird that is? You know, I
What?
get that, like, most guys up there are 18, but still, that's, like, kinda I don't know, I think I mentioned that last time, or it gives me, like, odd vibes. Just, like
Yeah, it's kind of strange.
it's kinda
But
sus.
like,
It's not quite, "Hmm," but it is the eyebrow raise. It does receive the eyebrow raise.
yeah,
Anyway,
and the
so what
teachers and judges and everyone have like said that they've been uncomfortable seeing their students in like speedos, and so they said like no speedos my year. So
so
people
what
were
did
having
your
to like get more creative with stuff.
so what did your brother do? Because you said he was original.
Oh, he wasn't original. His was
Oh, he
boring.
he wasn't? Okay.
That's why he didn't win. He got second place.
Did he just, like, just do normal swimsuit, whatever?
Yeah, he did like a swimsuit. He had like sunscreen. I don't know. He had like
Just walked out
floaties.
with some SPF
Super
50.
basic. Yeah. Um. So I was like, I have the talent portion pretty good. So I just need something good for the swimsuit. I'll be solid. And so I took the lion mascot because that's like I was the mascot junior and senior year. I got that and I bought this red bikini and I put it on the mascot suit and I walked out and like I took off the head and my hair was wet and I just like shaked my head around and then I like turned around and then I was facing the back and I like undid the bra, like the top part of
Jeez.
the bikini and then just like ran off.
That's pretty good. That's pretty good.
Thought
Did you
so
win
too.
that? Please tell me you won that.
Well, I don't know
At
how I
least that
scored, like,
portion.
in each individual category.
Oh,
I don't know how that, like,
were you the
ever
only
s
one who, like, did something interesting?
I don't really remember what other people did. I don't know. I honestly don't remember most people's things. It's like, all I
It didn't
saw,
matter.
it was, like, just backstage, like, in
Yeah, the
passing,
side
like
stage view.
yeah.
Yeah,
Now
that's
it's
kinda
focused on
weird
my thing, so
that when you're in something like that, you don't actually, like, see anything
yeah, I know,
except
right?
what you do. It's really odd.
And we had, like, 2 shows too,
Oh, yeah, you
and
had
I
the parent night
still
too.
yeah, that was interesting. Um, and then I danced for the talent portion. Just did the solo that I was using to dance that year.
Mhm.
Um, and then it was like a formal wear, like escort, and you're supposed to have like supposed to dress up all nice and then bring someone with you on stage. Um, and my escort was a cardboard cutout of my brother. I brought him out and like I turned around and like took a selfie on stage with like the whole audience in the background.
Nice.
That was pretty lit. I just like tried to do things that were like original and like weird.
Because obviously you couldn't win on your stunning good looks.
Right. Yeah. And then there was like
Just just
exactly.
leave it there. Just nothing after that. Just ends the podcast. So you're ugly. Anyway.
There was one, so there was for the swimsuit thing, there was like a funny bio, like a fake bio that they read, and then like for the formal wear, there was like a real bio.
Mm.
And I'm trying to remember my bio. I feel like I have it. My fake one, I feel like it's in my notes somewhere.
You just have it with you? Okay.
Um, maybe I don't have it.
That's okay.
But it was like Crew Laquarius Fouts, like that was my middle name for some reason. Maybe it was Jacrispy. Oh, I found it.
Cocoa Crisp.
Who's Jacrispy? All right, here's the bio. Crew Jacrispy Fouts has been at Red Mountain for 12 years. He has a personal connection to the school since he was raised by lions, which is how he became school mascot. Crew is 6'6" and always eats his veggies. The only thing bigger than his heart is his head, and the only reason he hasn't stolen your girl yet is because her feet aren't pretty enough.
Dude, that there are so many just all in a row. Wow, okay. Jeez. There's so many, like, turns in that.
I know,
That
it's
is
so random.
right when you think you're like, "Oh, okay, I see. What?" You know? That's actually really good.
But then after the formal wear, they announced like top 10. And then I was in the top 10, of course. And then they asked 10 of us like just a question, like a Q&A portion. My question was like, what sets you apart from all of the other contestants? I was like, I think my height. I'm really like I just stand above everybody. I really am like the biggest man. 'Cause I was like the shortest one on the stage, so it worked.
Which show did you do better at in terms of audience? The, student or parent one?
Probably the student one. 'Cause, yeah, I had some friends from like other schools that came.
Mm. She goes to another school, guys. Um, sometimes, dude, the parents show up, which is really funny, you know, because you just don't expect to see that, and then, you have all these people who just miss being in high school and just go crazy for that kinda stuff,
Yeah.
especially
I
in
think
our community. Jeez.
I think on the parent night, my question was like, which contestant would you not let date your daughter? And I
What?
said Drake Boren, and they were
Wow.
like, "You hear that, parents? Don't let Drake Boren date your daughters."
Man. He, Drake was surprisingly chill for the person that he was. Did you ever talk to him at all throughout high school?
So much during high school, but we went to like sure we were in kindergarten together. Like we grew up together, went to the same elementary school.
Mm.
Um, then in high school we like still like if we saw each other at things, we'd like say hi and like be chill with each other, but we wouldn't really like hang out outside of school.
He was
Saw him at church stuff every now and then because he was in like my stake.
I forgot that he went to church. Dang. Because he was the most archetypal person I knew at high school. Like the most like, oh, you are that guy from the movie. Like no
Yeah,
one
true.
else quite fit any like not even like nerds I knew fit the nerd archetype well enough, or the band kids fit the band archetype. It was like he fit that so well, like to a T. It's like, dude, he's not even real. Like what is this?
Yeah.
It's so funny. It's like I just said like again. Shit. The I don't know, just the whole Chad, but that whole vibe. Oh, he's on the football team, blah blah blah. But then he was actually nice, and I was like, oh, that's kind of weird. I don't know how I feel about this. He was in my senior English class, which was everyone from seventh grade, pretty much, that had been together, and they were all together for one last time. It was very, very cool, very wholesome. We had Thatcher in there, freaking Claire, Grant. Dude, if I don't have Grant on here, I've done something wrong.
That's
Like
true.
he needs to be on here. Um, before I let you go, because it is 12:10.
Yeah,
That was very quick.
that was
What
fun.
is the fondest memory you have in marching band? I wouldn't not the fondest or best, but one that you look back on and it's a very comforting, very warm memory.
From band?
Yeah, like marching band more just because that was more outside of school, if that makes sense. Like one I remember specifically, I was just shooting the shit with Grant for some reason. We were just hanging out, laying down the track. I have a video of it actually, and it's just I don't know. Like I'm so glad I have a video of it. I'll send it to you if I can find it.
Yeah.
Um, but it's so mundane, but it was such a good time where I think it personified what was great about that. You know,
Hmm.
like we weren't playing, we weren't performing, we weren't doing the stuff we were there to do. It was like that in between time.
Yeah. I really don't remember a lot from band. Um,
That's so funny to
most
me.
of it is just like random moments, like playing cadences or like in rehearsals on the football field. But I do remember specifically it was before parade or like the homecoming parade or whatever, and we
What year was
were
this?
either freshman or sophomore. Just for marching band.
Mm, okay. You don't
And we
remember
were
because freshman's pretty unique because the whole lineup was different that year, and it kind of stayed the same after that. Because
yeah,
you had
that's true.
Tyler with you on snare for the rest of it.
Yeah, I honestly don't remember who. I remember it was me, you, and Tyler and Grant, but I don't remember who was
Okay, it would have been sophomore
on
year then.
what
I have a picture
or
from that day. It was sophomore year because
okay.
Grant played the Glockenspiel on freshman year. Bless his soul.
Oh, that's true. He was in Pitt,
Yeah.
so it had to have been sophomore year.
Oh
But I
man.
just remember we were just hanging out and we were like, I don't remember what we were doing, but it was like one of the people, either Hamilton or um Perez, said something like, "Come on, guys, like stop that or like get focused," and you were just like, "This is the camaraderie. Like this is like good part about band." And I was like, "Yeah."
I said that?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
That's so out of character for me. I just that moment where I roasted Perez or whatever.
Yeah, it wasn't like a talking back kind of way, but it was more just like playful, like
Hmm.
because they weren't like
Oh, they weren't
upset
quite
or
serious yet.
anything.
Yeah.
They're just
Okay.
like, yeah,
Like, come on, guys. We gotta keep the eye on the ball, whatever.
yeah,
Whatever you
just
say in
something
band. I
random
don't
like
know.
that. Just like I remember feeling before going out for halftime or for like competitions, just like standing on the side of the field and just like all of us in a row, just like game face focused. Mr. Perez had just given us a pep talk and
The spur of the
just like
moment pep
walking out
talks.
like we're about to like crush our parts right now. I remember that. Those are good feelings.
You reminded me of a moment where I remember this was during a show, like a real show at competition, and we were just talking the whole show. Like the whole drum line was just talking the whole show. Because for some reason that year we had the show so down, like it was so tight, at least in upper battery
Yeah. Uh-huh.
bases. Um, that was the year we were so tight, and I think because Tyler was kind of a stickler for the whole season, but that one competition he just like let it go for some reason, and we were all just making fun of each other and stuff during the show, marching around, just having full on conversations. You remember that?
I do remember that.
It was one show. That was the one time Tyler was chill and he kind of earned a spot that moment. And
Yeah.
me and Grant were talking like, "Oh, here comes the part." It's like, "No, it's over there." It's like, "Oh yeah, you're right." You're like, "Oh, you missed this, whatever." Just during the that's crazy to me that it was that instinctual. We could just talk during the whole thing.
It was super
It's
lit.
it's nuts, man. Well, I'm gonna let you go. Where are you going after this? Because you said you had another date with a buddy.
Yeah, I'm meeting a friend of mine. We're going I don't know what we're doing. We'll probably just grab a soda somewhere. Just
Just one
catch up.
last huzzah.
Yeah. Exactly.
All right, man.
Actually, I have
Well,
two more before I have dance tonight.
oh, jeez, dude. Wow.
Yeah.
Dang. Okay, I can't even wrap my mind around that. I can meet with one person a day, and that's kind of it's kind of my limit.
Got four people today, and then I have to go to work.
You've work. Oh yeah, you work at
At
Dance
dance, yeah.
Center. Yeah, it's no longer fun. It's just work. No, I'm kidding. Well, it was,
That doesn't even feel like work. Half the time I'm like, oh yeah, I get paid for this. Like,
dude. That's the way to do it, man. I
no,
can't
it's
believe I
legit.
didn't know you got paid for that. I thought you were like volunteering
No,
until you
dude,
just said that.
it's my job.
That's awesome, man.
I
Professional,
love it.
right? I hope. Maybe not. I don't know. Well, was a pleasure to have you on. I probably
To
won't
be here
see you
again.
for I don't know, like, a
At
while.
least 2 years.
That's what I'm saying. I can't even. That sucks. I'm kind
That's
of
so
just coming to
weird.
grips with that. That
Yeah,
really sucks.
I know.
Jeez, 2 whole years. Well, you better send me your email list. I'll know if you don't, and
Okay.
then
You can just text me your email. I'll put it in my little note. I have a lot of people
okay.
want to be on it.
What's his name? I regret not getting on Bracken's when I had the chance, so I got to get on yours. When he
Okay.
left, he's been gone for half a year now. So,
Well, if you email him, then you can ask him to add you.
well, I don't have his email. That's the
It's
thing.
bracken.peterson@missionary.org. That's what they all
Well,
are. First name dot last name at missionary.org.
really?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I will write that down, or I'll just listen back to this and then write it down later.
Enough.
All right, man. It was amazing. We will do this again in 2 years.
In 2025.
Yeah, dude, that'll be comeback of a century on this thing. Hopefully, by that time, this will be, dude. If I don't have a studio or not a studio, just a setup. If we can't do this in person when you come back, I would have done something wrong,
Hopefully, in these 2 years, you can get Grant on at least once.
dude. He just went through a breakup, so I might have a chance here. He's gonna have a lot more time on his hands.
Yeah. And a lot more to talk about.
Very true. Very true. Alright, man.